Greetings, true believers. Today's episode of VHS Dreadful is brought to you by Crystal Pepsi. Head to your local Tom Thumb and use the promo code HITWHOLEHOMEVIDEO for 10% off your next 2 liter of Crystal Pepsi. Limit 2 per customer per visit per day. I don't care for it.
No, stop squirting me, sucker!
The panties!
Hello everybody and welcome to the basement of Hat Hole Home Video and another episode of VHS Dreadful. I'm your host, the ghoul that's too cool for school. You know this, Dr. Zotto. And holy snakes, do I have a doozy of a movie for you tonight. A sci-fi action movie released in the early 90s about a dystopian future controlled by machines and a woman whose baby is the savior of humanity. I think we all know what movie I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We're watching my movie Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Sarah Connor has a baby inside of her. It's John Connor. And John Connor defeats Skynet. In the future, it's robots in the future. This was fantastic action. It's special effects. Oh, it's so much fun. And Miles Bennett Dyson. But not Catherine Brewster. Catherine Brewster's in T3, Rise of the Machines. Not Judgment Day. Judgment Day is Miles Bennett Dyson.
What the hell? No! We are not watching Terminator 2. In fact, we are watching the Canon Films not quite a classic, American Cyborg. So get your snacks, get your pops, get your comfy pants on, and begin. Oh, I forgot to put on pants. Anyway, and get ready to watch American Cyborg Steel Warrior. In the not too distant future, things ain't great for humans. We lost a nuclear war against evil robots, we're forced to live in prison cities run by the maniacal machines, and all humans have become infertile from radiation. So essentially, we're on a ticking clock to extinction. It would seem all hope is lost for humanity. But wait! What's this secret underground laboratory? And who is this pretty young woman dressed like an extra from Cleopatra 2525? I bet you forgot all about that show, you're welcome. Well, this lady's name is Mary, and Mary is the only fertile woman on Earth. And her test tube baby is the only known baby on the planet. This reminds me of that movie Children of Men. Do you remember that with Clive Owen? He was is it Owens or Owen? Owen or Owens? Don't know? Not gonna Google it, because it's not important to what I'm talking about. He was protecting the only pregnant woman in an infertile dystopian future. Of course, that movie came out in 2006, long after American Cyborg, but it's based on a book. When did the book come out? Interesting. 1992. American Cyborg comes out 1993. That's right. Something tells me some low-budget producer was sitting at home watching Terminator 2 on his TV, reading this new book, Children of Men, and said, I think I can probably rip both of these off at the same time. And they did. Speaking of Terminator, let me introduce you to the Cyborg Hunter. His mission is to kill human rebels. And I suppose, what is more rebellious than trying to repopulate the human species, am I right? Mary and her baby are getting ready to be moved. There's a boat that's gonna bring them to Europe where apparently it's safer. I guess the war against the machines is going better over there. Typical French cyborg, surrendering at the first sign of human resistance. Too bad for Mary and her lab friends that American cyborgs are no cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Before they can escape to the port where they're meeting the boat, our bleach blonde Major Dad kicks down the door and kills basically everybody. The amount of muzzle flashes, blood squibs, sparks, and exploding lab equipment in this scene is truly a sight to behold. They just don't make low-budget, low-mid-budget movies like this anymore. Anyway, Mary escapes, but the cyborg is hot on her heels. I do think this scene looks great. Maybe you've noticed from the basement of the video store, but I am a fan of theatrical lighting. I love a deep blue night with punches of orange fire. You get the fog rays coming in, it's like, that's the sauce. You get that sauce just right. Sadly, the chase scene itself is incredibly slow and devoid of any tension. I also think it's funny that the cyborg's eyes are glowing in some shots, but not all the time and seemingly not motivated by anything. I get the feeling the director just thought it looked cool, and he's not wrong. Mary once again eludes the cyborg hunter, but is immediately, and I mean immediately, like closes the door, turns around, and is accosted by a very flamboyant gang. It was the 90s, folks. Welcome to it. And just as quickly as this gang of fancy lads appears, so too does a hero named Austin.
And the whole bar started fighting.
No, not Stunning Steve. This Austin has a lot more hair and a lot less charisma. This Austin hands out a few lukewarm stunners to our fancy lads and heads to a sleazy trader to sell his loot. Mary tags along much to Austin's complete disinterest. And of course, it turns out the cyborg is still tracking Mary and closing in quick, because I don't think they're at the trader for more than a minute before Blondie makes like the Kool-Aid man and bursts through the wall. And once again, we're establishing a pattern. Our low-rent Terminator kills everybody except his intended target, Mary. Austin and the cyborg square up, and Austin puts up a much better fight than anybody so far, but I mean, it's such a low bar considering everybody else has just been mowed down with zero effort. But even with a slightly tougher opponent, it's clear the cyborg is gonna win the fight. That is, until Mary comes in with the rocket launcher assist. Austin agrees to help Mary get to the port, but only because Mary lied to him and said they were picking up a shipment of meds and she would cut him in. He has no idea about the test tube backpack baby that's Mary got on her back, and that's a little disappointing, Mary. No secrets between sailors. Our newly formed dynamic duo descends into the city's sewer system through a hidden car hole entrance. Austin says the port is on the other side of town and should take about a day to get there. Looks like a rocket to the chest only slows the cyborg down for about 3 minutes, and he's already back on the hunt. We get it, Mr. Cyborg, you're very strong, we get it. While escaping the cyborg, Mary drops her baby backpack on a landmine. It arms, but does not go off. Austin manages to save the backpack and use the mine as a trap against the cyborg. A kaboom! Since we're only 30 minutes into the movie, I'm guessing that's not the last we've seen of him. After all this excitement, our heroes find a spot to lay low till morning, and they just casually flirt like crazy. Bright and early in the morning, the Terminator finds them. I assume he'd have been there sooner, but he needed to go home and put on a brand new leather outfit, because I'll accept that a cyborg can regenerate his robo-skin, but you cannot tell me that after getting a rocket launcher to the chest and getting blown up by a landmine, that your clothes would still be this pristine. I'm not buying it, movie. Once again, Austin and Mary fight the Terminator, and once again, it's in an abandoned industrial setting. But I guess this time it's in the daytime, so we're meant to really take this as a totally different kind of action scene. And in this scene, they keep showing the cyborg's vision, and he's kind of constantly looking at Mary's butt. I don't really know what to say about that, I just thought that was funny. Also, this guy's like 5 feet away from her, and he's firing dozens of rounds, and he doesn't even hit her once. This is Stormtrooper level aim here. And of course, they get the cyborg down again, and he regenerates again. Once again, we're establishing a pattern. Although I will say the fingers growing back shot was pretty cool. I gotta say, this movie is frustrating. Every scene is awful. By which I mean it's poorly paced, badly acted, and mostly irrelevant to the story. But there are interesting things in every scene. The lighting, the fighting, the gore, the special effects. It's glimmers of craft, glimmers of talent, but glimmers and nothing else. Our heroes need to pass through Leech's territory, aka radioactive cannibal territory. Mary is immediately captured by cannibals, fine young cannibals, I can only assume, and they're planning to eat her for dinner. Of course, Austin busts in and kills all the cannibals with little to no effort, and they're off to see the wizard. The movie sets up Leech's territory like it's the biggest danger in getting to the port, but Austin cuts through every cannibal like they're made out of tofu. It's like a 3-minute scene. Our characters don't change as a result of anything. Nothing is learned. Nothing is revealed. It's pointless, which makes me not care. But it's well shot, the action has its moments, and Leech, the leader of the cannibals, has a cool look and is well acted. Huh, well what do you know? The actor that played Leech also played the blind prisoner in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, I thought I recognized that man. Seeing an accomplished actor in this movie suddenly fills me with hope that it could redeem itself. Of course, there can be no true despair without hope, I fear.
And of course the Cyborg shows up again. And Austin and the Cyborg fight again and again and again and forever again. Mary helps by hitting him with an axe. Kitten, you've shot him in the chest with a rocket launcher, and you've blown him up with a landmine. What do you think an axe is gonna do? Austin manages to total recall the Cyborg down an elevator shaft, but in the process, Austin gets his own arm ripped the F off. But wait, that's not all. Austin's stump has robo bits in it. That's right, he's a damn dirty cyborg. It's like finding out John Connor is a Terminator. And it seems to come as a surprise to Austin, so I think we can assume his memory had been wiped at some point. He does say something earlier in the movie about having no memory of his parents. Mary is pissed, I guess, sort of understandably. I mean, in this world, cyborgs are exclusively the bad guys, so she feels betrayed, she doesn't know what's going on, she bounces. It's gotta feel weird to realize you spent a good chunk of the night before making out with a cyborg. Oh my god, Austin sewed the Terminator's arm onto his stump. That is amazing. Mary has made it to the ocean, but Major Dad is back, baby. I gotta say, I like the detail that his regeneration ability has gotten worse. Like, he's done so much regenerating over the last day or two that it just can't keep up anymore. I think that's cool. The Cyborg frisbees a hubcap and clocks Mary from like 75 yards. I did not see that coming. Austin shows up to save the day. They fight once again, but for the last time. Because this time Austin has a Terminator arm. That's what he needed, just a little bit of extra punching strength. He rips out Blondie's guts, which makes him explode, which once again, did not see coming. The boat from Europe arrives, the baby is safe, humanity's future is secured, and that fetus is honestly adorable. Mary says she's naming the baby Austin and hightails it, leaving Austin stranded on the bad side of town with, honestly, the devastatingly emotional trauma of finding out that he is a cyborg. So, kind of a really bad day for Austin. Steel American Cyborg Warrior. I think the formatting is screwed up on that logo. And there you have it, as I said. The real joy of American Cyborg comes in a lot of its visual details. The writing is completely flat. I looked it up, and the co-writer of American Cyborg also co-wrote Ticks, Hellbound, and get this, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. All movies that I think we can agree have some pretty serious screenplay problems. I do have to say, I think American Cyborg is a movie that benefits from watching with a group of people. It has those oh my god moments, those awesome moments to remember, but in between are these long stretches of boring, and when you're in a group of people, you can use that time to chit-chat, to go get some nachos, to go to the bathroom. It's kind of the perfect group B movie. But now it's time to give a final score on the greatest movie rating system ever conceived. Invented by me, Dr. Zotto. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Beckon Scale. Let me explain for the new meat. The Beckon Scale operates on the principle that there are 3 core qualities that make up a great VHS rental, and those same 3 qualities are also what make the actress Kate Beckinsale an American treasure. First, dealing with sexuality or indecency in a comical way, we call this bawdy. Second is extravagant or tasteless showiness. For movies, imagine over-the-top or creative gore, action, explosions, sci-fi special effects. We call this gaudy. And third is the fun factor, joyful merriment, the rip-roaring good time that we call mirth. I can safely say that American Cyborg gave us plenty of gaudy, but it fell flat in mirth and in bawdy. meaning American Cyborg earns a Beckon scale rating of 1 Kate out of 3. And it's a shame, because this movie was so close to being awesome. And there you have it, folks. Thank you to everybody who enjoys VHS Dreadful and Hat Hole Home Video at large. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, being a patron, all those awesome things. Thank you, everybody. And remember that whether you are a dirty dog sleeping in the sun or an alley rat eating up the night, you are always welcome here at Hat Hole Home Video. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.